Hi there everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hi, hello, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're all here to spend some time with me. Today, I've decided to cook something that is my version of comfort food, and I'm pretty sure most of you, many of you, probably go the same route when you want comfort food. Soup and pasta. Now, I have a lot of books with recipes for soups and pastas, but one of my absolute favorites and one of the actual first books that I got when starting my journey is Miss Dahl's Voluptuous Delights by Sophie Dahl. Now, for those of you who know, Sophie Dahl is Roald Dahl's granddaughter, and like him, she writes just as well, and she's so pretty. So when I first got this book, I was just absolutely blown away by how beautiful and how simple her recipes are. So her recipes generally rely on the strength of the ingredients and how good and fresh they are, which is something I can get behind that, because I really love simple cooking sometimes. It doesn't always have to be like something that takes you hours and hours to make. Sometimes it's just really good to throw bits and bobs together in a dish and just knowing that they will taste amazing because the ingredient behind them is really amazing. And that's sort of the feel I get from her book, and she has a lot of really good recipes for that. I remember one of the things that I was most struck by when I bought this book many years ago was just how simple and easy the recipes were. As a beginner cooking from this book, I wasn't particularly intimidated because all of it was just really easy. So I have cooked some of the recipes from here. There is a poached eggs on mushrooms, which is really good. It's so simple but also so good. And then she had cauliflower cheese, which this was actually my first introduction to cauliflower cheese, and I love it. Can't get enough of it. I also did try another recipe in here, which I can't seem to find right now. It may be in her other book, which I also have, which I will talk about some other time, but I think in one of her other books, she wrote a recipe for heartbreak carbonara, or the first thing I ever cooked for a guy. And because she is a very good writer, she shared the story of how she made the pasta for her boyfriend, and then he ate it and then he left her and then she was heartbroken. So that was why it's called heartbreak carbonara, and that's really amazing because I think everybody has a recipe that relates to them and their heartbreak. So this time around I did not make that because that recipe is not in this book. So what I did make was a chestnut and mushroom soup, as well as, to add on to that, a linguine with crab and chili and lemon, except I didn't use crab because I wasn't really in the mood for steaming a crab and having to scoop out its insides. We don't get prepared crab over here, so I wasn't really in the mood for all that. Surprise! So I substituted it with shrimp, and it tastes just as good. So whatever you want, squid works with it, or you could go the route I did with shrimp, or you could just do the original with crab. But let's see how that looks. So let's start off by making the pasta. Put as much linguine as you want into a pot of boiling water. Add salt. And let it cook down until al dente. In the meantime, grab your cherry tomatoes. You're just gonna slice them halfway. And then once you're done, you're gonna sprinkle some salt onto each half, set them aside, and conveniently forget about a little orphan tomato. Grab some garlic and a bird's eye chili, or whatever chili you want really. These bird's eye chilies are really spicy, so I'm gonna de-seed it first. Thinly slice the chili and grate the garlic. Put the chilies in with the garlic, then add some extra virgin olive oil. Salt as desired. Then add some lemon juice. Now you're going to add some poached pink prawns. Make sure you don't overcook them so that they're bouncy. Mix it all up. And then go back to rescuing your pasta. Now, you are just going to put the prawn mixture over the pasta. And then stir the combine. Common sense dictates that you use a big bowl for this, and I am clearly lacking in common sense. But as Julia Child would say, who's to know? Let's dish up. Now you can see I tried to make an effort and then gave up. It doesn't really matter because it's gonna look spectacular when you have the tomatoes scattered on top. Like so. Finish with some Italian parsley and grate over some lemon zest. And there you have it. Perfect pasta. Now let's make our chestnut and mushroom soup. This naturally starts off with some mushrooms. I'm using brown and white button mushrooms. Give the mushrooms a wash. And then grab an onion and coarsely dice it. These do not have to be perfect because you are just going to blend everything together at the end. Put a large pot on, add some sauteing oil, and then cook the onions down. If your mushrooms are large, you should quarter them, or half them if they're smaller. This is to make sure that whatever blender you're using has an easier time. Introduce the mushrooms back into the pot and saute for a little while. At this juncture, you could add sherry or masala if you want. Otherwise, just add water. Then add in your roasted chestnuts. You can get some really good quality ones that have already been cooked and vacuum sealed. Let the lot come to a simmer about 30 minutes. And then you're going to blend. Until smooth and velvety. It's now ready to be served. Scatter over some freshly chopped parsley, and then drizzle on some Styrian pumpkin seed oil. And that's it. We're good to go. So I'm gonna come right out of that and immediately say that yes, I did make a lot of pasta, and that is a very Nigella Lawson portion of pasta, but I have zero regrets. It was honestly very, very good, and I think I'm perfectly fine without having used the crab. I mean, the prawn was amazing, and the fact that everything is sort of raw, besides the prawn and the pasta, you know, everything else was just uncooked, and that actually added like a fresh sprightliness to the pasta that, I mean, if you think about it, this is sort of similar to an aglio olio, but with aglio olio, everything's sort of cooked, and then like once you cook it, it gets very smoky, and then it somehow seems to intensify all the richness. You know, like in Chinese would say 好老啊, 食咗好老. But the thing is, the fact that everything is so raw and fresh in this pasta, it actually tastes really, really good, and it's easy to eat, and you don't actually feel like, oh my god, I'm so stuffed after eating it, which is, you know, something I like, and I think I might make my aglio olios this way every once in a while from now on because it's so good. The soup! I have to say I decided to make the soup because I like tangled a lot, and you know, Rapunzel's favorite soup is chestnut soup. So I was like, okay, I gotta make chestnut soup. And then I tried it and I absolutely loved it. I do actually keep vacuum packed cooked chestnuts around the house because I really, really like having them in my Chinese soups. But this is actually a really great way to use them up as well. I like the sort of rich creaminess and like the mild sweetness it adds to the soup, as well as the whole, you know, the whole mushroominess of it, and so it's like a mushroom soup but different somehow. She does say that you can add cream while you're blending up the soup. I just didn't think it was necessary, and she did also add sherry while sauteing the mushrooms, and I didn't do that, mostly because I forgot, and at the end of the day I didn't really think it needed it. I mean, it would be good, you would get like a little bit of that woodsy flavor, I guess, but I also didn't have sherry around. I would have substituted with marsala, and that it would have been good all the same. What I did do at the end of it was to finish the soup with Styrian pumpkin seed oil. So I first encountered this ingredient with one of my very good friends, Andres, who one morning he was making me breakfast, and then he brought out his Styrian pumpkin seed oil, and he was like, yo, this, you know, if you add this to eggs, it would be really, really good. And then he made it for me, and then he added the pumpkin seed oil to eggs, and it was really, really good, and I have kept a bottle of it in my fridge ever since. So it makes a really, really good addition. It all falls within that same flavor base. Like, pumpkin seed oil is very, very, it's fragrant. It's a little green, also a little woodsy. So it sort of tastes like a walk in an ancient forest, and you can smell the mist and, you know, the moss hanging around and that sort of thing. And you know, I think all of that works very, very well with mushroom soup. It was delicious. So I think with that, like a nice dark rye bread or a whole wheat bread would be really, really good. So I beg you all to please try it, and then you will understand why Rapunzel likes chestnut soup so much. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had fun and learned something new. If you truly enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button below as well as the bell button so you get notified whenever I post something new. Don't forget to comment and let me know what you'd like me to cook next. I'm always happy to accommodate whatever cuisine and culture you're interested in. Share this video if you're so inclined. Until next time, I hope you all are staying safe and I'll see you then. Goodbye!